with leg warmers and no bra, and you're like, that would be a terrible workout.
Haven't you ever seen Perfect with John Travolta and Jamie Lee Curtis? You bet they wore them.
It's got to be gory. It's got to be offensive. Like, if they don't do that, then they've failed.
All he has to do is just drop it behind his head and get out of it.
Well, Greg was never very smart, George.
Welcome in. Grab a towel and some sanitizer, and don't hog the bench if you're just going to sit there and be on your phone the whole time. We're going to the gym. It's the Fright Club podcast. Welcome. She is Hope Madden.
He's George Wolf.
And we are from madwolf.com, and we're talking about horror in the gyms, not people named Jim, as somebody thought last time out, and that's fine, because you could easily get confused, I guess. It's not Jim somebody. It's something happening in the gym, something horrific. And was this an idea from our special guest this week?
Not exactly. It was one that came back in the day when we very first started the Fright Club podcast Facebook group. We asked for some ideas, and this was one of the ideas. And Cory, our special guest, man from the future.
Yes, our chief Australian correspondent. He's ahead of us in time, so we're always looking to get him to tell us the lottery numbers.
He right away said, when you do that one, I want to be the co-host. So,
so way to just worm yourself in there shamelessly.
Hey, I'm always inviting myself on your show.
This will be good. We've got a little bit of overlap, but not too much. Mm-hmm. So we get to talk about a lot of things. You've got at least one also almost made the cut. So we'll get to that. But first, we want to thank everybody that came out last time as we did Fright Club Live at the Gateway Film Center in Columbus, Ohio. And we talked about broadcast horror. And we watched Pontypool, and I think everybody dug it.
Yeah, it's such a weird movie. I mean, it's just a seriously bizarre movie, but it was a lot of fun, and we're just so grateful to be able to be doing those live events again, and for the crowd that came out. And the main response that we got, first of all, our friend Phantom Dark Dave wanted to point out that he's among those who love Halloween 3.
Yeah, maybe I'm just totally wrong. I was somehow over the years got the impression that it was sort of a split camps, but most people love it, huh?
Well, I think at this point in time, either they forgot that it ever existed because they're not really massive horror fans, or they like it. So that's...
Also, I think it helps that over the years, Tom Atkins has become such an icon. People have such love for Tom Atkins.
That's really true. Yeah. So anyway, that was a fun one. And then also, Seth suggested that we could have included Night of the Living Dead. That's a good suggestion. I love every word that newscaster says in that entire movie. Murder happy. Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
It was great to see Pontypool, though, because a lot of people had not seen it, which is really always our goal when we have a live event. It's great to have a lot of people come out that had not seen the movie. And it's such a great example of doing a lot with a little. Not much cast, not really much set. It doesn't go much outside the radio station, and it creates a really cool mood and some really scary, creepy moments.
Yeah, I love that movie. I've always been a big fan of that movie. So I was grateful to Chris Hamill, who is the president of Gateway Film Center and the one who gets these obscure films that we are seeking, and he got that one for us. I was very excited to get to show it, so that's cool. We also pimped our Columbus Podcast Award nomination.
Yeah, speaking of shameless, here we go.
That's right. So here's a shameless plug. If you haven't voted yet, please go to columbuspodcastawards.com, and under nominations, you'll find us in the TV and film category.
Yeah, because we're not shy about saying we want to win. Yes, it is nice to be nominated. It's nicer to win. So please give us a vote there. We appreciate it. I think voting ends the first week of August. So you've got a little bit of time, but as they say, vote early and often in the Fright Club for the Fright Club podcast in the TV and film category. So thank you. So yeah, so we're going to the gym, and any other rule? I mean, when you say gym, that could encompass a lot of things. You can talk about a health spa or, a sauna. Is a big tent here for the gyms?
Actually, Cory and I went back and forth a little bit about that, because you could do an entire episode on gymnasiums, basketball games and things like that. And there were a couple of great, the senior prom is in the gymnasium in Cary, for example,
yes,
right?
That's a good point.
Right. So we decided we had to narrow it down. So as long as there's a workout involved, then it counts. So it's okay if it's in the gym as long as there's in a gymnasium, as long as there is a workout going on.
I would also say that when I was putting together my list, I discounted saunas, solariums, and pools.
I think they're kind of their own thing. You could do I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, or you could do Swim Fan or TerraVision. Friday the 13th Part 8, for Christ's sake.
We're definitely going to do pools at some point just so we can get...
Yeah, I know.
Let the right one
Go
in.
there, yes. My favorite pool. Oh, it's so great. As soon as you said pool, boom, that's the first one that came to mind. That's great. So there you go. We have another episode already thinking about pools, but we're talking about gyms and workouts specifically.
Right.
And how they go horrifically wrong. And we'll get into that. Okay, you've got, I see one here on your list that didn't quite make it for either of you, but you want to mention it.
Yeah, Demons 2. I thought about just making it number 6 so we had fuzzy math, and maybe that's what I should have done, because if you haven't seen Demons 2, I mean, it's first of all, it's one of those great throwback zombie movies with just the green face paint, like the really bad zombie makeup. And then everybody has got on, I mean, did people really wear those things to work out? Like all the females are dressed like, Jane Fonda, with leg warmers and no bra. And you're like, that would be a terrible workout.
Haven't you ever seen Perfect with John Travolta and Jamie Lee Curtis? You bet they wore them.
And then they try to escape by throwing things at this glass. And it's unclear why the glass doesn't break. But once you throw like a big hand weight, a dumbbell at a window and it doesn't break, then no matter what else you try to hit it with, like a big potted plant, that's not going to break it. You need to find another exit. But anyway, so I kind of feel bad. We should have just had that on here.
Well, yeah, I mean, the movie's about being stuck in a high-rise building. I think the fact that these people are in a gym for some reason is kind of ancillary. Yeah, you see them working out, but then they immediately run away. So I agree. It doesn't need to be on the top 5.
All right, so we'll keep it to just an honorable or maybe dishonorable mention for Demons 2. So we've each got a list of 5. We're going to start with Cory's, correct?
Sure.
Okay. Cory, why don't you lead us off? What do you got there at number 5?
Okay, at number 5. Now, I did a bit of a deep dive into gyms in horror, and I found a couple of specific, films set around the gym. And so at my number 5, I'm going to go with Aerobicide, a.k.a. Killer Workout.
1, 2, 3.
I know nothing about this movie at all. Fill me in.
So basically, a killer in a gym. What's the killer's motivation by the end? Why would the killer be killing people in this gym? It's just got some really fun, really 80s kind of moments, when the two buff guys get into an argument in the parking lot and just punch each other in the face for 5 minutes, for example.
Was the killer's motivation all those extra monthly fees?
No, but it is something to do with other people's hot bodies. So I'll leave you with that. It's a good bit of fun. It is, of course, a video nasty. Probably went straight to the VHS tape back in the day. But I had a lot of fun with it, and it's just so 80s in its workout.
I would say good work out of you, because neither one of us have seen it. So, wow, nicely done.
And you got to love the title.
Oh, yeah, that is a great title.
And Killer Workout. Fantastic.
Very good. All right, Aerobicide, Killer Workout, number 5 for Cory. Ours is from 2006, and it's 6 years after students cheated death. Another teen has a premonition she and her friends will be involved in an accident when the vision proves true. The student and survivors deal with the repercussions of cheating the Grim Reaper. Final Destination Part 3.
Who was afraid of that? Just afraid of me. Just fears me. Kevin. Because baby, I just win. I just win, Kevin. That's all I know how to do. Is just win. Fuck yeah! Fuck the room. What I tell you, Kevin, huh? Fuck that. I just win. That's all I know how to do, Kevin. Baby, I just win.
These movies are just such an excellent way to it's just a great setup. And then who's got to die. They got to die one by one. They're very tidy. And I think that what makes any of them interesting, if they are interesting, and not all of them are, is just the sort of Rube Goldberg that they set up each time with each victim. And this one has A couple of great ones, actually. We could use this on, if we did one on tanning beds. The tanning bed death in this one is pretty great, too. And also, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is the star.
Yes.
And that is crazy to me to go back. I had forgotten, actually, that she was. I reviewed this movie when it came out, and I still had forgotten that she was the lead in this one, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And it was the same director who did the first one, James Wong, and he went on to direct a ton of the X-Files episodes. And I just think that he has a fun knack with sort of supernatural horror. I enjoy this one more or less.
And it's funny you mentioned Mary Elizabeth Winstead. At least at the time this was made, she could not drive. So in the scene where she pulled out of the school parking lot, they had to have a stand-in come and drive the car.
How odd. Also, the Lewis is the guy who he's a football player, and they go into the locker room when they're all, or the gym where they're all working out, and Lewis is the guy who got off the roller coaster that we know is next to die. But the actor's name is Texas Battle. That's a great name.
That can't be real.
I hate to use this pun, but I mean, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's doing all the heavy lifting in this one.
Oh.
She stands there looking bug-eyed as people plug in electronics around dripping water.
Right.
And, people get all sweaty and full on with their workout until actual sabers, I mean, like real life swords.
Yeah.
Cause a weight machine to smash a dude's head in. I mean,
and of course, it's the dude who spends a full 5 minutes yelling how he's gonna cheat death. He's stronger than death. Fuck death. All this. Yeah, you're not gonna die.
It's not a safety first, Jim, I think is what we're saying.
Final Destination Part 3 is number 5 on our list. All right, let's go to a Cory up to number 4.
Okay, at number 4, I had to put it in here. It's from 1988, Death Spa.
Death Spa, the place for a killer workout.
Never work without a spotter, Freddie. Weight falls on your chest and you can really get squashed.
What the hell's going on around here?
I will destroy this place, and I'll kill them all, unless you do as I say.
What a fantastic weight reduction program. People get so thin they disappear.
That is another one that neither one of us are aware of. You are digging deep.
Yes. I mean, if for no other reason to see this movie, it has Ken Foree in it. So
that's okay then.
Get on it. But yeah, basically a new fandangled computer-operated health spa becomes possessed with the ghost of a man's dead wife. And, the slaughter ensues. So
that's very strange because I could see already the premise behind it. If everything is computerized, you really don't need a ghost. You could just sort of chopping mall it. You don't need a ghost. You just, AI your way to the horror. But okay, a ghost in the machine, I guess.
So are all of the deaths involved in the spa?
They are for the most part, and a lot of them are to do with working out, putting too much weight into a machine so people's ribs explode or whatever. But, there is a point in the film when it starts to lose a bit of steam and they start doing kills in like walk-in freezers and things like that. And you're like, well, yeah, they kind of lost any kind of interest in the actual overall theme at some point, didn't they?
All right, that's another one to put on our list, maybe.
You sell it so well, Cory.
You do. Cory's number 4 for horror in the gym is Death Spa. All right, moving up to our number 4. This is higher on Cory's list. This is one that you have at number 2, so we're both showing some love for this film from 1981. At the snobby Crawford Academy, Virginia's group of friends start to go missing years after horrible events that happened to her as a child around her birthday. It's Happy Birthday to Me.
What are you doing? Come on, put him back. Come on. Quit screwing around. Come on, please put him back. For God's fucking sake, put him back! God, please. It's not a joke anymore, please.
I got to thank you, Hope, actually, for reminding me about this wonderful scene in a movie. I think this is maybe the third time we've brought up this movie in as many shows as I've been on with you.
I know, that's crazy.
But yes, I mean, if you can get a kill in where somebody's lifting weights and gets their head smashed in from having a very large weight dropped on their genitals, I mean, I'm all in.
But this one really is the most ridiculous. But when he has the weight fully extended, all he has to do is just drop it behind his head and get out of it.
Well, Greg was never very smart, George. It's one of those, the kill is sort of just too perfect, because of who the character is and kind of what the point is of the movie, and then that the killer drops the weight on his groin, and so he dies in that way. It's just one of those just chef's kiss of a murder, given who the character is and given where the story is going to go. It's such a fun death. And
of course, the star here, Melissa Sue Anderson from Little House on the Prairie. And I'm still, every time I think about this movie, I'm still just dumbfounded that Glenn Ford is in it. And it's 1981. He lived many years after that, but I think he only made 3 more films after this. Apparently, he'd been drinking heavily, and somehow he's just agreed to be in this.
Well, the thing that kills me is that J. Lee Thompson made it, who also did Guns of Navarone, Cape Fear.
That is amazing.
And he also hadn't really hit the skids necessarily. He did another bunch of movies
that might be how he got Glenn Ford, really.
Right.
And this is a Canadian low-budget film, so you could lump it into the, let me say this right, Canucksploitation genre.
Nice.
I love that. Canucksploitation. That's another category right there. That's another podcast.
Oh, yeah, we got to do it.
Canucksploitation, eh?
Awesome.
Happy birthday to me from 1981. Number 4 for us and number 2 for Cory, definitely. So, all right. So we'll move it up to number 3 if my math is correct, and it seldom is. And we'll go to, this is a good one. This is on our list as well. So, Cory, what do you got at number 3? Because we have this one also at number 3. So great minds are thinking alike. Tell us about it, Cory.
Okay, from 2017, it's Tragedy Girls.
Yes, this is a twist on the slasher genre, following 2 death-obsessed teenage girls who use their online show about real-life tragedies to send their small Midwestern town into a frenzy and cement their legacy as modern horror legends.
We're putting him in the trance.
Well, at least this won't look like an accident.
Dude, I totally had it. He drank the water and everything. Jordan's on his way to my house, right now. We need to go.
Okay, fine, but you're not hearing the last of this, okay? I've got a lot to talk to you about.
You always have a lot to talk to me about.
I've got notes, girl. I've got notes.
Yes, so, I mean, there is just a wonderful gym scene in this. Is these 2, rather petite teenage girls try to take down Craig Robinson of all people.
That's great.
And it's a great scene, because they try to start with giving him some sedative in his water bottle. So it plays into this horror humor that just permeates the whole film, So it's just, is he going to drink this water? Hey, we got to hydrate. No, you definitely don't want to hydrate around these girls. And when the 2 of them have to come in to really take him down, I mean, it plays out. It's so much fun.
It is. I love this movie. I think this movie is so clever and so funny. And I think there were a lot of movies around the same time that tried to do something similar, which is to just sort of explore how social media kind of promotes narcissism. And I don't think any movie did it as well, certainly not as cleverly or as satisfying as this movie was.
Well, so many films have tried to do it since the rise of social media. The vibe is just perfect. And I love the fact all the little winks, the character's name, one character's name is Hooper, Toby Hooper. And then you've got a whole Archie and Jughead and the Riverdale vibe going through the entire movie. So they never lean too far to make it silly. It's always smart still, and it's fun. And I love seeing Craig Robinson get it in the end there. It takes a while.
It does. It's funny that you say that, because I think the scene in the movie that's the most outright comedic is the scene, unsurprisingly, with Craig Robinson. The tone of that one is slightly different, I think, than the rest of the movie. It's an outright comedy, and it's so well staged, like you said, Cory, because he plays Big Al. He's a big dude. And especially Brianna Hildebrand, who plays Sadie. Actually, I also love that both they're both X-Men, right? Alexandra Shipp and Brianna Hildebrand. They have both.
Right.
They have both gone on to play X-Men in different movies, which I find funny. But she's so little, and he's just such a big old dude. And I do think that the physical comedy, I think in particular, stands out in this scene.
And once he finally gets it, there's some nice practical effects there.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
nice, huh?
Oh, that head coming off. I love it. That looks great.
Yeah, that is a good one. And both of us loving that at number 3, Tragedy Girls from 2017. Taking us up to number 2. And, well, we deviate. Oh, we already talked about number 2 for Cory, which was Happy Birthday to Me. So we move up to number 2 on our list. And this is from 1984. Popular entry in various podcasts that we've done over the years. This is Tromaville with a monstrous new hero. The Toxic Avenger is born when a meek mop boy Melvin falls into a vat of toxic waste. Now, evildoers will have a lot to lose in the Toxic Avenger.
Before we even get into this, I assume that all three of us are wildly excited that Macon Blair is going to remake this movie. I can't. This cast that he got together is crazy. Peter Dinklage, Jacob Tremblay, Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood. I could not be more excited about this movie.
Yes, I'm not a Troma fan, but I am excited about that, yes.
Oh, yeah. They got to keep it up, though. It's got to be gory. It's got to be offensive. Like, if they don't do that, then they've failed.
That's true.
So,
no, I think you're right. It does
on.
have to be offensive. I'm so excited to see what they do. But, it seemed clear to me that this movie was going to have to be on this list. George does not care for this movie. But it's just set. It's set at a gym, at a spa. And then, when Toxie comes back and gets revenge on the bullies who they've gone wild. They've gone off way beyond just being bullies. And of course, they're responsible for his transformation. And the scene is just priceless. It's just so perfectly Troma, the actual carnage in the workout room. And of course, again, the outfits, these workout outfits. I just wonder, I can't imagine anybody got a good workout in wearing those clothes.
This features a extra coming out of the shower. Future Oscar winner Marissa Tomei can be glimpsed in this movie. And apparently it was inspired when Lloyd Kaufman hung out behind the scenes on the set of Rocky in 1976, and he wanted to make a straight-up movie centered around a health club, but then he read a magazine article with the headline, "Horror Film is Dead," and so he decided, well, it was going to be a horror movie in a health club, so I guess we can thank him for that.
I could have had this movie on my list. I kind of discounted it a bit, I think, because albeit set in a gym, I just figured there wasn't a lot of like gym type stuff going on.
Yeah, it's just the one scene, really.
Yeah, and then you had it on your list, and I thought, well, maybe I should put it on my list, but for the sake of having more to talk about, I kind of left it off. But it is a good call, and it's such an integral part of Toxie's origin story as well.
Oh, yeah.
This is a take on the superhero origin, and so the health club and the bullies and the toxic waste, and that's you need all of that to get his transformation, I suppose.
Somebody, though, really ought to talk to town council in Tromaville, because there's a lot of toxic waste around there. I mean, it really pops up in a number of films. I think somebody needs to get a beat on that.
Look, the mayor's fault.
So do we have ETA on the new Toxic Avenger? Any sort of release date?
No, they have not started filming yet.
Well, get on that.
Don't they know how excited we are?
Now, that cast is amazing. It really is. There'll be a lot of excitement about that one. So, number 2 on our list, The Toxic Avenger from 1984. All right, man, we're getting up there to the top. And at number 1, let's turn it over to Cory. What you got at the top?
Okay, from 1985, it is A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Now, I could have had Nightmare on Elm Street 4 on here, which has probably a closer workout scene in it where, Freddy uses a bench press to snap off some arms and turn somebody into a bug.
Yeah, that is a pretty great scene. Also,
yeah.
Hats off to that woman's hair. Tuesday Night is the actress's name. Kristen is the character's name, and that hair would put Reba McEntire to shame.
And that's still a better use of a bench press than sitting there on your phone and not using it. I'm a little bitter sometimes.
The thing about part 2 is that we do have an extended nighttime sequence in a school gym. And like pretty much everything in this movie, there is a strong homosexual undertone to the whole thing.
Oh my God! Well, just what that coach is wearing to lead, the detention after hours workout. I mean, what has he got on? It's like a sheer black vest and a dog collar around his wrist to work out, to coach.
To come straight from the leather club to torture this young man after hours in the gym. And of course, when he hits the showers, our fateful coach character, played by Marshall Bell, gets balls thrown at him and then tied up and whipped with towels. I mean, glorious.
I don't think he came straight from the leather club.
Yes, well played.
It's such a bizarre film. That, though, it's really that, I think, that makes it stand out, that makes it so much more memorable than the other sequels, is that just unusual, unspoken, but such a thick homosexual context. It's amazing. It makes the movie so much more interesting than it actually is.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why I prefer this one over The Kill in Part 4. I had to go with this. I know it's not really like, your traditional gym workout kind of thing, but hey, they're in the school gym and this is what happens here. And it's insane.
It is.
The whole movie is such an oddball in the franchise.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It 100% is. And also, the documentary that was on Shudder, Scream Queen, about the making of this, and that was fascinating as well.
I still haven't seen it. I've got to get on that.
Oh yeah, you definitely should. It's definitely worth seeing, and that is number 1, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge for Cory on our list of horror in the gym. So let's move it up to number 1 for us, and this is from 2011. Death returns to claim the lucky survivors of a deadly bridge collapse in this 5th frightening installment in the series, Final Destination 5. This one is very appropriate right now since the Olympics just began, because during this scene, this extended gymnastics scene, Canadian Olympian Brittany Rogers plays the gymnast on the balance beam when Candace is on the uneven bars.
Wow. This is, this is actually, I think, my favorite of the Final Destination movies. I actually think it's quite a good movie. It has more subtext than the other films do. It's 3D. It has this just outstanding, the opening where they cheat death on this bridge is just great. It also has a really good cast. It's got small parts for Tony Todd, Courtney B. Vance, and then David Koechner plays their boss, Dennis, who gets a wrench to the face. But this scene, it's one of the many that you're so used to at this point, 5 deep in this movie series, where they kill at least 6 people every single time, right? Where they're showing you all these different things at once, and what's it going to be, and which one of these things is going to be the final thing that kills this person. And I love the way, I just love the way it plays itself out. My dad was a gymnastics coach, and I was bad at gymnastics, as all people who are as tall as me are, but I used to have to go to practices, and so I would watch people on the uneven bars and on the balance beams, and the whole thing I thought was fascinating. And then you've got this screw the whole time, and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting for something to come down on the screw. And then usually, I gotta say, the payoff in this one, what Carrie looks like at the end, makes it all worthwhile.
I give you that. That's a good visual at the end. I thought the build-up goes on a little much. It's a little extreme, a little silly after a while, but there's a good payoff there. Agreed. And this is another one where a lot of the characters are named after horror directors. There's a character named Friedkin. Again, there's a character named Hooper and a character named Castle after William Castle. So they're giving some nods to that as well. But yeah, once you get to the final crunch, I should say, it reminded me, actually, we were just talking about these sorts of body contortions kills because of the one in It Follows and the one that you see, if you're going to see or maybe have seen already, the new movie Old. They have a real body contortion scene in there as well. And this is a good one at the final end here.
Yeah, it definitely is. I love this kill.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't know if I can ever go with this one, though. I mean, sure, it takes your breath away a bit. You watch it and you're like, whoa, come on. But, it's really in a, get the fuck out of here kind of way, right?
The other ones are so realistic.
How much force would she have had to use to end up like that? And I'm like, come on.
That is really
gross,
true.
But come on.
Yeah, and it's like so many of the kills in these movies, it's become such a Rube Goldberg kind of thing. You need all these different aspects working together because, yes, she steps on the screw, and then the chalk is blown up into the fan, and that comes into it too. But yeah, but as long as it results in that smash, I'm in with this one. So Final Destination 5, number 1 on our list, and number 1 on Corey's list of get the fuck out of here.
Was that your Australian accent?
Was it? I don't know what it was.
Mate, come on.
It was poor. That's both of our lists of horror in the gyms. But you had some other films that bared mention for you, Cory, correct?
Yeah, so I watched a few other things that kind of cropped up. There's The Majorettes, which is kind of set around some cheerleaders. Not the best film, not a lot of like gym type kills in there. So it's worth a watch. Graduation Day, that's another trauma film.
Yeah.
As well. It's got some more school gym type stuff in there.
Right.
So, not bad. Not the best of trauma though, obviously. Toxic Avengers at the top for trauma for sure.
Oh, definitely.
I did think about The Faculty as well. That does kind of have the climax in the school gym.
There is, yeah. That was one that I think was originally on both of our lists, and then when we decided that there has to be at least a workout going on, we dropped that. But the BB Newworth kill, that's a great scene. It's
got the pool. It's got closing bleachers, which are used pretty well. So, not bad, not bad. I also checked out Fatal Games, which was one that you turned me onto.
Right.
It's set around an elite athletics school and a javelin killer. It's kind of insensitive, though, on the reveal.
Yes.
Killer at the end. And also Final Exam.
Right. That was another one that I had kicked around. Final Exam. It wound up, I thought, being maybe a little dull.
Yeah, I agree, and basically the only gym thing is the guy getting choked out and then being stuffed upside down into a locker.
Right.
But those are, they're all reasonable films if you are looking for some more gym in your life, which I've actually had a lot of lately. I didn't mention, though, the reason I wanted to do this with you guys, I've lost so much weight in the last 18 months while coronavirus has been ravaging the world. I've dropped 45 kilos.
Wow.
And I did the conversion.
Nice.
That's 100 pounds, guys.
Holy
100.
cow. Well, congratulations, hottie.
Thank you. I'm feeling hot.
That's like a person.
So, yeah, it was great to sort of just delve into some gyms in horror, and kind of do this research. So thanks for having me by for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. We talked about some good ones. So horror in the gym this time. Next time it's going to be horror with guys named Jim, right? Are we going to get to go and do it? No.
Well, I think so. We also now we have Canucksploitation.
Right.
We've got to do that one, and then and gymnasiums probably, and then also I think Cory just came up with something that I hadn't thought about before, but we absolutely could do because I already have 5 in my head, which is cheerleaders.
Remember back when we started this and we thought, well, we're going to run out of topics.
We're not ever.
We're not ever going to run out of topics. Not when people like Cory are around.
Hey, I could come back for pools or gyms.
That's
pools. Oh, that word pools is definitely down for sure. Although I think we already gave away our number 1 anyway. But all right, looking ahead, we're going to be back. Gateway Film Center. Our next Fright Club Live is going to be August 11th. We're not quite sure. Are we sure? Do we know? We do not know the film yet. That's a sort of a byproduct of coming out of the pandemic. Distributing is totally different. Trying to see what movies Chris can get at the Gateway. Totally understand that. So we're not able to know with as much advance as we did before. But we will get there, and we'll have a good one. We'll have fun as always. So keep watching our socials for the announcement on the next Fright Club Live at Gateway Film Center. We'd love to have you. Speaking of socials, where can we find you, Cory Metcalfe?
You can find me on Twitter at Cory Metcalfe, or you can hear me every week, sometimes twice a week, over at the Rewatch Podcast. Just search the Rewatch Podcast on all the socials as well. You'll find us there. But currently we're talking about Dawson's Creek, and we are talking about Marvel Phase 2 films as well. So come on by.
All right.
To our discussions.
Fantastic. And we've gotten all this way, and I have not mentioned yet the Fright Club Podcast group on Facebook. We've got our numbers keep going up. We have a lot of fun in there. So if you'd like to join, please just send a request and we will grant that very quickly. We've got that coming up. We mentioned please go to ColumbusPodcastAwards.com and vote for us in the TV and film category because we want to win. And what else we got coming up?
Well, there's just one other thing that I want to plug for Gateway Film Center, actually. They let me co-program a Hammer horror series, and that is going to run the entire month of August at Gateway Film Center. So many great movies. We got like the absolute classics. We also have some of their recent, because they've actually been they've been putting films out again for about the last 15 years. So we have some of the more recent really great movies, and we have some of the really great trash. Some of the, because Hammer made a lot of bad movies too, and some of them are just boring bad, but some of them are Twins of Evil bad, and I love Twins of Evil, and we should all just go watch that trash together.
Series on Hammer, so that is going to be too legit to quit.
Wrong Hammer.
Oh, sorry. You can always get more info on any one of our accounts. You can find us on Twitter at Fright Club Pod, also on the main website, madwolf.com, and on Facebook and Instagram, it's Mad Wolf Columbus. Love to hear from you. If you have anything, any other ideas for any horrific gym films that we missed, please let us know. Cory came up with a couple we didn't know about, so maybe you can come up with some none of us know about. I doubt it, but we love to get those ideas, so hope to hear from you. Until next time, she is Hope Madden.
He's George Wolf.
And this is the Fright Club Podcast, and he is Cory Metcalfe. Hit it.
Oh, you're going to love this. I came up with this in a whole 10 seconds. Stay fitful, my friend.
That was almost as bad as too legit to quit.
Hello, darling. This is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And stay frightful, my friend.